everyone, welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. My name is Sammy, and on today's video we are going to do some French country farmhouse DIYs. Yes, French country farmhouse, and they are going to be so cute. So hang around and let's get right into the video. To start this DIY off, we're going to use, you guessed it, my pillow covers. If you're new to my channel, I get these seasonally and the fronts are usually stained up from kids, dogs, all that stuff. So I save them because I could use the back of them that are a solid color and aren't all stained up. So I'm going to cut the back of this pillow cover off. Then I am going to grab one of the new packs of stamps from IOD. It is the Birds and Bees collection. This is such a beautiful stamp collection. I get these at Vonda at paintedheirloom.com. Link is in my description box. I'm going to prime them since I've never used them with a soft grit sanding paper. Now I'm taking my permanent IOD ink and I am coating these very well with that ink because once I put it on my fabric, that fabric is going to kind of suck that ink in. So you want to put a healthy coat on there. I'm going to take this brayer and I'm going to rub that brayer over our stamps to really get that ink nice and good in that fabric. I am going to repeat this process throughout the entire piece of fabric so that I can cover the entire thing. Now, we're making carrots with these. However, they would make beautiful pillowcases. So now I'm just going to create triangles out of our square here. I was able to make 3 of them. I will say though, next time I would just make 2 out of one of these panels to get bigger carrots, but it all worked out. So I'm going to take my fabric scissors and I'm going to cut those triangles out. Now one is going to be upside down. That's okay. So you're going to fold your triangles together. The print is going to be faced inwards because we are going to end up turning it inside out. I had to look for those words for sure. So I'm going to hot glue. You don't want to go too far in with your hot glue because then you're going to be taking up more of that fabric and your carrots will become smaller. So I try to put it as close to the edge as possible without missing any spots so I don't get any holes in my carrots when we flip it inside out. So I'm going to repeat that process for all 3 of these carrots. Very easy method. There might be easier ones as well. If you have a sewing machine, this would be very easy. Now we're going to turn these inside out. The bottom of these were so skinny. I had to get my weeding tool tweezers and kind of pick at it. Then I got some a thin paintbrush to kind of push that down. I'm sure those of you that sew know an easier way to do this, but I made it work. So after I was done getting those all turned inside out, I buy pillows from Walmart, like the $5 cheap pillows, and I use the stuffing from those. So make sure you pack these really tight. I was trying to use the back of a paintbrush to push that fabric down, but a little trick was using the bristles of the paintbrush actually helped do the job much better and faster since the filling had something to kind of like adhere to. Does that sound weird? You picking up what I'm putting down? So I'm going to pack that down there. I want this to be nice and tight. And then I'm going to hold it up off the top. I leave about 1 to 2 inches of fabric, then cut the remainder off. I don't want to waste anything. So no, that's not the part. You guys, I'm a mess. I took some of these pieces of greenery off a garland that I got on Marketplace. I'm going to stuff those down in there. Now I'm going to take one of the scrap pieces. I'm going to cut a little strip down and I'm going to use that instead of twine to tie off the top of our carrot. Then we're not wasting that fabric. And it looks cute too. You can use twine as well. I'm going to wrap that around twice and then I am just going to tie it in a knot and cut the excess of it off. If you like bows and ribbon, then just leave it long and hanging. I repeat this process for all 3 of them, and this is how cute they turned out. I love that you can see the bird right there, the bees, so cute. And I will show you later in the video how I styled them in a basket and they look so stinking adorable. But this is a fun way of utilizing the new stamps or any stamps that you have. Okay, I grabbed this wreath, this grapevine wreath at Savers for $1.99. The vines on here are actually pretty nice. They're like almost like a paper flower, but in vines. I don't know. So I'm going to take that off and I am going to save it. This size wreath was just the perfect size. Now I'm going to take another garland. You guys, look after wedding season on Facebook Marketplace because garlands are so cheap when people are trying to sell their wedding decor. And that's how I found all of these garlands. They also have them at Hobby Lobby too. So since these do not have a strong pick at the end of them, I am going to put hot glue on them. Usually I never put hot glue on my florals if I'm sticking them in a grapevine wreath just because the branches are so tightly wound that it holds them in place very well. These though had soft little ends on them, so I knew I needed to put a little bit of hot glue to keep them in their place and get them down in the branches to stay. So I do one layer around the front, then I go towards the outer rim of our wreath, and I'm going to start sticking them in there. I felt like this just made it look a little bit more like whimsical, wispy. Is that wispy? Yeah, that's good. Okay. I said okay a lot. Sorry. We are going to make a little nest. So I'm taking my Spanish moss and I'm kind of rolling it inwards and making a hole in the middle. I took my spray adhesive and I think this is one from Dollar Tree and two, I've had it for like 2 years. So I don't think it was at its best. So then I grab hairspray and I'm like, you know what? Hairspray should do the job just as well. And it does end up doing the job. However, I realized this nest was far too big for our wreath. So I ended up splitting in half. Now, I will say next time I will lay out my Spanish moss first, give it a good coat front and back, and then start molding it into a wreath so all the Spanish moss gets coated in the hairspray. But the hairspray actually worked. Now I'm going to attach it to our grapevine wreath. And these little pieces of greenery really helped hold this in place. And it's not like the nest itself isn't like, oh my gosh, it's thick. It's still, soft and stuff, but it held its form very well. Now I'm going to take the Hobby Lobby eggs. And let me tell you, I have had these eggs for quite a while. They came in a great variety of sizes, so definitely pick them up when they go on sale. I'm going to glue all 3 of them in there. After that, I'm going to glue them to each other. So you'll see me right here. I'm going to separate the eggs, put a little glue in between them, just so they're just a little bit more solid while they are in there. And look at how cute. I love just the simplicity of it. It's very farmhouse, very neutral, and the wreath size is perfect to put in so many different places within the house. And I love how whimsical it looks. Hey everyone, I'm back again, checking in on you, seeing how you're liking the French country farmhouse vibe. I was very inspired looking through Pinterest. There was a lot of things I saw and I was like, I could definitely make this my own using some of the new IOD products. So I hope it's inspiring you and I hope it's inspiring you to think outside the box because that is what I am all about here on Unicorn Dust Designs. I also wanted to remind you guys that I have been going live a lot. So on Thursdays, I do a thrift haul at 6 p.m. Central. I am usually on there chatting with you guys. At 9 p.m. on Thursday Central Time, I do a live on Facebook and YouTube where I'm just gonna craft and have fun and chat with you guys. We have a DIY video on Saturday, and then on Sundays, usually if I do not have anything going on with my family, I will either do a thrift haul or we will just be DIYing from our thrift haul on Thursday. So definitely check me out. My Facebook link is down in the description box. I hope to see a lot of you there. And you guys, I appreciate you always spending your time with me. The salt wash in today's video, did I use salt wash? I don't know, I guess we'll find out. It is in the description box and available on my website, along with all my thrifted items and upcycled DIYs from the video. So you guys, let's go ahead and hop back into it. You guys are welcome. I know I talk so much. Show you guys, we really need to get rid of my rolling pin stash. So we need to start DIYing them. I am taking White Swan by DIY, and we are going to coat the entire body of our rolling pin twice. I promise this is not a vintage rolling pin. I would never do that to a vintage rolling pin. This is definitely more modern. So I'm dipping into White Swan, and I do not know why I don't use this white more often because it is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to take a synthetic brush, and this brush does a great job at, more detailed work so that you don't get it on the handles. I'm going to take Farm Fresh by DIY as well. Now, this one looks a little bit more watered down because I was at the very end. So I added a little bit of water to it, shook it around. But once it dries down, you're going to see that same Farm Fresh color. Beautiful, beautiful bluish green. And I'm going to do that to both sides of the rolling pin. I'm only going to do one coat and that's it. Next, we're going to get a baby wipe and we are going to start distressing. And you guys, I know I sound crazy sometimes when I'm like, oh, there's a difference in distressing DIY paint and Waverly wax, but there seriously is. I feel like when you're distressing DIY paints, it's effortless and they don't smear and they don't get on everything. They also don't discolor. Like if you've ever distressed back Waverly paint and then it looks like kind of this spot, like the paints around it kind of gets discolored. This doesn't do that. And I think it just distresses down really, really well. So I'm going to do that all over. I'm going to do it all over the body of our paintbrush and our rolling pin and the handles as well. Once I'm done with this, we are going to grab some of the Birds and the Bees stamps again from IOD, and we are going to place them onto the film that comes over it. And I'm going to use this as like my little base. So at first, I thought I could fit 2 birds on. Then as I measured it with my rolling pin, you'll see here, measure first, make sure your stuff can fit. I was like, nope, that's too much. So I decided on the bird with the branch and a couple of bumblebees as well. Now, you guys have seen me do this before with paint, and then I've also done it with stamps as well before. This time, I don't know what I was thinking because I messed up. So let me tell you what I did wrong here. I took my rolling pin and I started on the flat surface on the table, and then I rolled my rolling pin up on the stamp. And that's why it didn't catch all of the stamp. And I had to kind of go back and press it down. You should put your rolling pin on top of the stamp and then start rolling it. So whatever stamp like comes first that you have laid down, set it on top of there and then start rolling. So I made that mistake. You guys don't make it. And we are going to grab our clear wax. You guys, I just now got through that bottle of clear wax. I've had that for over a year and a half when Brie and I first met, and I am just now getting through it. So worth it. We are going to wax the handles. And again, with DIY paints, if you're new to them, they look dark when you wax them, but it will dry back down to be its lighter color. It will not dry down to be as light as it was, but it will dry down. I let my ink set for about 30 minutes and then I waxed it, and look at how cute this is. Oh my word. Rolling pins are so hard to get a shot of, but love that detail. It's so springy, very farmhouse. It could fit into any decor. And how I layered it in this basket to create a beautiful vignette, something you guys could easily do on your own. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. All right. So I'm like smacking my lips. Yeah, that's my healthy lunch after I just spent an hour working out. Ugh, what a waste. Okay. We're going to take this beautiful basket I thrifted last week. It was only $4.49, and when I saw it, right away, even in my thrift haul, I said vignette, 100%. If you missed my Facebook Live last week, I created a basket using my pillow covers. And if you didn't see it, then I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So taking the pillow covers, I'm going to cut a piece off. I am going to lay that on top of our basket just so I could see the size. I had a particular stamp I wanted to use in mine, so I made sure it fit first. I checked the length of it. I think I show it right now because I didn't know how long I should make it. We're going to use the rabbit out of the Farm Animals IOD stamps. I cut that down to size. Now I'm just taking my vinyl weeding tool and I am just picking those strings out so that we have some frayed edges around this fabric. You could go as hard as you want with that or none at all. I am now going to take that stamp. I'm going to use the China Blue. Now this color has set for a while, so it kind of looked bluish green, which I didn't mind, but I definitely need to re-ink that. I'm going to press that on to our piece of fabric using the briar to go ahead and push that ink down in there, and look at how beautiful and detailed that rabbit is. Gorgeous. Again, paintedheirloom.com. Make sure to care for your stamps and wipe them down after you're done using them. I had in my mind I was going to use these grain sack stencils, but it just didn't fit. All right, now we have our fabric laid on there. I'm going to use my Gorilla Glue to adhere the fabric to the basket. On my live, somebody asked, why didn't I just Mod Podge it? And for me, Mod Podge comes through the fabric one, so then I would have had to clear the entire thing, and I did not want that like filmy residue that Mod Podge leaves. So I decided to go this route, and it works very well. The super glue does not come through the fabric whatsoever, so I really get that matte like canvas look out of here. Now I'm going to take these fabric tacks, and I do not know what these little snippet things are called. My husband's an electrician, and he found me some on Amazon for $13, so I will add them. They get really down deep into these tacks so that I do not have a little bit sticking out. I wanted them to sit flush. So you can see these are hollow on the inside. So if I were to put glue, it would just sink down in there and not adhere to anything. So to fix that problem, I am taking my detailed glue gun and I'm going to fill the inside of that tack. I am going to take my finger with my finger protector and I'm going to squeeze it in between my two fingers. Once I peel it back, you are going to see that it is no longer hollow inside and it's nice and flat. Now I could just take my super glue and put it on there. It's not going to sink inside the cap and it's going to sit flush with my basket. So this is a great way of utilizing the tacks and not having to go through all of that trouble, because let me tell you, I've done it quite a few times and then they just fall off. So I'm going to put those on all four corners, and this is how it turned out. All of these, the basket, the carrots, all of it is available for purchase on my website, unicorndustdesigns.com. And look at those carrots in that vignette with some dried baby's breath, a beautiful doily. Even those plaques are on my website as well. So, and it was so easy to do, you guys. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was French country farmhouse, and I'm definitely vibing that right now. So I appreciate you all for being here. Have a good one. Back again, different shirt. Guys, look at the shirts I've been making. Look at this one. I was inspired by a different design, then made my own design. Look at, oh, and then that. I live to junk. Isn't that fun? And I bleached this shirt during like summer last year and then never used it. So this was the perfect, this is supposed to be like the cowhide method or whatever it's called. Should probably, we'll keep talking about it until I do something about it. If that dog, look you guys, You need to hop on because you could see how cute. I'm gonna add some. We did this on the live. We did what else did we do? Look. We did this planter on the live. Look at how cute she is. And we just did a nice wax job on this cast iron book holder. So make sure you're joining me, okay? All right. I appreciate you all. Bye.